guys, in today's video we will be talking about my predictions for the 2022 NBA playoffs. So first we'll start in the Eastern Conference. So the number 1 seed, which is Miami, and the number 8 seed, which is Atlanta. I see Miami as a really good team. They're good at defense. Their bench is really good. They just got Oladipo back from injury, and they have a pretty good amount of centers. They have Bam Adebayo. They have Omar Yurtseven. They have a pretty good defensive team too, and they're good at scoring too. They have Tyler Hero. They just recently got back Oladipo, as I said, and Jimmy Butler is pretty good. So I really think that Miami is gonna sweep the Atlanta Hawks. And why am I saying sweep? Because some people might argue that the Atlanta Hawks might win a game or so, but I really don't think so. Right now it's 2-0, but I really think that Miami has a really good chance on defeating the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks, they've been struggling lately. They just recently traded, a lot of their players, and now it's just Trae Young and Gallinari and Bogdan Bogdanovic. That's all they have, and they also have more players, but those are the main players right now in the playoffs. So Miami sweep. Now comes to the next game, Philadelphia versus Toronto. Oh, this is a big one. I really think that Philadelphia is going to win it. They're going to win it in Game 5, but Philadelphia, they have Tyrese Maxey, they have James Harden, they have Joel Embiid, they have Tobias Harris. Thybulle's been injured, but Thybulle's not the only good player on the team who could play defense. They have other players who are good in really good ways during the playoffs. They have really good scorers. They have really good shooting guards. They have James Harden. They have Furkan Korkmaz. They have Tyrese Maxey, who those are the main guards on the team. They also have a lot of really good players too. So yeah. And Toronto, I do see a lot of potential in Toronto. I see them as a really good team. They have a good bench. They have a good coach too. Nick Nurse, he won Coach of the Year during the bubble in 2020. So I really think that Toronto, because Toronto has a lot of rookies, because last season they were in the 13th seed, I guess, and they didn't make it to the finals, or the playoffs especially, or the playing tournament. So I really think that they have a lot of young players, but later on, say 10 years or so, they might win the finals, I guess. So right now, Philadelphia Game 5. Next one, Milwaukee versus Chicago. This must be a really big one. Why am I saying this is a big one? Milwaukee, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. They have Brook Lopez. They have a lot of good players. Their bench is good. They just got Grayson Allen, who's probably a really dirty player, but he was good in college. So I think that these players could be playing really well under pressure too. And Chicago, by the way, is a pretty good team. But since their player Lonzo Ball just got injured, and he's one of their best defensive players and passing players, and that's really important during the NBA game. And who are they going to rely on? DeMar DeRozan? DeRozan, he's only good at shooting from mid-range, and that's good, but that's only 2 points. You need someone who could shoot both from 3 and from mid-range. So right now, and they have Nikola Vucevic, who is good. They have Patrick Williams, who is that how we expected him from being a 4th pick in the 2021 NBA draft. But right now, 20 NBA draft. But right now, I think Milwaukee is gonna win in Game 7. Next one, Boston versus Brooklyn. So right now, you must be hearing a lot of controversy between Boston and Brooklyn. Kyrie Irving, and they have Kyrie Irving, doing a lot of stuff with the Boston Celtics fans, and it's all that controversial. But in this video, we are not going to talk about this controversy. But on to topic, I really think that Boston's going to win it in Game 5. Why am I saying this? Boston, the best defensive team in the NBA. They were 3 months ago, they were the 13th seed. They weren't that good or anything like that. They just made they just switched Brad Stevens as the head coach to a part of the organization and etc. But and they just got a good coach, and right now you're seeing this team. You might say that, oh yeah, they're not gonna make it to the finals, or they aren't gonna make it to the playoffs or anything like that. But now they change it around. Their defense just became outstanding, and yesterday they were playing against the Brooklyn Nets, and the Nets were just got destroyed there. I was watching the match and I was saying, wow, their defense was so off, but the Boston, how their defense was during the match was outstanding. So I obviously strongly agree that Boston's going to win in Game 5. And I'm saying Game 5, not a sweep, because now Brooklyn's going to play in their home territory, Brooklyn. So obviously they might win one game because Kevin Durant is good, and there's rumors, and there's actually those rumors are true, that Ben Simmons is going to come back in Game 4, and Game 4 is going to be played in Brooklyn. So I think that they could win in Game 3 or Game 4. It depends how Ben Simmons plays. If he plays terrible, well, because he can't shoot or anything like that, and he calls himself a guard. So but I really think that Boston's going to win in Game 5. So now let's go to the Western Conference. We are going to go back to the semifinals, but we'll talk about the rest. So Game 1, Phoenix versus New Orleans. Devin Booker recently got an injury, their star player. So I think that New Orleans is going to win one more game, and Phoenix is going to win it all, and Game 6, Phoenix is going to win the game. That's it. And I see New Orleans as a really good team too, but as their star players will be C.J. McCollum, Brandon Ingram, and Jonas Valanciunas. Two of those players are first years, and Brandon Ingram's been on the team for a while since the Anthony Davis trade, but right now, because since Zion Williamson's injury, saying that he's alright, during the playoffs, they aren't gonna let him play at all because he hasn't played at all during the regular season as well as the postseason. So I don't think that they're gonna let him play during the playoffs too. And their coach is a first year as a coach for the New Orleans Pelicans. So I strongly agree. Game 6. Next one, Dallas versus Utah. Ooh. Well, Luka Doncic just got injured. So he just got injured. He's a really good player, outstanding playmaker, one of my favorite European players, and yeah. So I obviously agree that Utah has a really good players. They have Bogdan Bogdanovic or Bojan Bogdanovic. They have Rudy Gobert. They have Donovan Mitchell, who are really good players for the team. They just recently traded Joe Ingles, but Joe Ingles wasn't that good before his injury. So I really think that Utah has a chance on defeating. Oh, that's supposed to say 4, but imagine that's a 4. But I really think that Utah is gonna win it in Game 6. Next one, Golden State versus Denver. A lot of good games here, but I really think that Golden State's gonna win. They recently played Jordan Poole as the starting point guard in the last match, and they benched Curry to test that out, and Jordan Poole played really well. So, and Curry didn't get that many minutes, but he did shoot a couple threes that did look his former self. So I obviously agree that the Golden State Warriors are gonna win. Denver is not doing how they are supposed to. Their defense is not that good. Jamal Murray's injured. Their best player is Nikola Jokic, but say that he gets injured, then they have to rely on Aaron Gordon, who is not his old Orlando self. So obviously they're gonna win one more game, because they're gonna play in Denver now. So I think they're gonna win one more game, and Golden State is gonna win it all. Memphis versus the Wolves. Ooh, I'm saying the Wolves are gonna win it because, how should I say that? Memphis is a pretty good team. They are, but since that Memphis, their starting centers are Jackson Jr. and Minnesota, their starting center is Karl Anthony Towns, and even Shaquille O'Neal says that he thinks that Minnesota's gonna win it. So really, strongly agree that Minnesota too is going to win. Their players are Patrick Williams, I guess, and they also have Karl Anthony Towns. They have Anthony Edwards. They have D'Angelo Russell, who are pretty good players. So I obviously agree that Minnesota is going to win it, and yeah, they're going to make it to the semifinals. Now back to these. In the semifinals, the Miami Heat will play against the Philadelphia 76ers. I obviously agree that Miami is going to win it at all times. But why am I saying this? Because Miami is a pretty good team, and I see them, as I recently said, as a defensive team. They're good at scoring too. In Philadelphia, they are good, but there are some questionable things that Joel Embiid does, like that Toronto Raptors match. And yeah, he did make a game-winning shot, but before that there were some questionable moves that he has done, and I really don't think that Joel and James Harden and Tyrese Maxey are gonna make it that far to the playoffs, and they are gonna win a couple games. So I think in Game 6 Miami's gonna win it. Now the Bucks and Celtics. Ooh, I really strongly agree that Boston's gonna win it. Milwaukee, their bench is not that good, and they did lose a lot of players since the 2021 free agency, and they're players that they won a championship with. So I don't think that Milwaukee is also going to make it that far, but Boston, who, as I mentioned, they are a pretty good defensive team. So Boston and 6. Now, next one is the conference finals. I will later talk about that. Now let's talk about the semifinals for the West. Phoenix versus Utah. Okay, so since Devin Booker's injury, Devin Booker, his injury might be a really long time, and he's there's some sources saying that he's going to be injured for 16 days, which is a lot of days. So that is going to go through the first round, between the Suns and New Orleans Pelicans, and the second round between the Suns and Jazz. So I really believe that Utah's gonna win it, because Utah has a really good offense, defense too, and Phoenix, they only have Devin Booker. So Devin Booker, they also have DeAndre Ayton, but since Devin Booker's injury, they might rely on DeAndre Ayton as as their star player, and there are also some players who are injured too. But right now, it's not a good day for Phoenix. So Utah in 6, they're gonna make it to the Western Conference Finals that we'll later talk about. Now, next one, Golden State versus Wolves. Okay, this is an easy one. Golden State is going to win in Game 5. Golden State has really good players: Stephen Curry, Jordan Poole. Wolves, they only have Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards. It's a really young team, by the way. So because of this young team, and some of their players just recently made it to the playoffs for the first time, and their star player is like 24 or 25 years old, which is Karl Anthony Towns. D'Angelo Russell, I think he has some experience making in the playoffs, but right now, because of their experience, how they're playing, it's nothing similar to the Golden State Warriors. So I obviously think that Golden State is going to make it and win in Game 5, and they're going to go play against Utah in the Western Conference Finals. Back to the Eastern Conference, Miami versus Boston. This did take me some time to make my decision there, but I obviously strongly agree that Boston's a really good defensive team. Their bench is not that good, by the way. Robert Williams just got injured, and I don't think that they're gonna make it that far too. So they're gonna win a couple games, just like 2 games, and Miami's gonna win it 0-4. So yeah, that's what I'm predicting, and they're gonna make it to the finals. And Miami's gonna make it to the finals. And to the West, Utah versus Golden State. Golden State, they will win 4 games. Utah will win 2. Why am I saying this? Because if Golden State, who have a pretty good roster, they have Valencia, they have Kevin Looney, and a lot of those players have some experience in the NBA playoffs. They have Valencia, who played in Turkey for Fenerbahce. He did win a yearly title with Fenerbahce, so he did have some experience, with winning a championship too, and especially the EuroLeague, which is a really competitive and second best league in the world. So I obviously agree that with this experience and how the players are, Valencia has been playing really well. Kevin Looney too. I don't think Kevin Looney was playing that well, but he was, as I should say, he was playing decent in a good way. And they recently got Klay Thompson back from injury, which was like for 2 years or 3. It was a really long injury, by the way. So I really think that Golden State is going to make it because Utah, they have a lot of centers, and some of their centers get injured like a lot, like their starting center, Rudy Gobert. He gets injured a lot. He doesn't score that much. He's more of a rebounder, and I think he's leading the league right now in rebounds. So I obviously strongly agree that because, how centers are, they always get injured easily. Gobert might be injured, in this, in the semifinals against the Suns or, during the Warriors. So obviously I think that Golden State is going to make it to the finals against Miami and Golden State. In Miami and the Warriors. So this is my finals prediction. I really haven't decided who I think I'm going to win. It's like a bit of a 50-50. Miami is a really good team. They have Jimmy Butler. They have Bam Adebayo. Really good centers. Their point guards are good. Their bench is excellent. Golden State. Centers, you need to look there because Miami, if Bam Adebayo ever gets injured, they have Omar Yurtseven. When Bam was injured with, finger surgery or something like that, they didn't rely on Dudman. They relied on Omar Yurtseven. They gave them some experience. And what did Omar Yurtseven did? He cherished that experience well. He played excellent. His career high, he's broken. It was 22 points, which is not that much, but he was an undrafted player. He played in... He was undrafted 2 times. He played for Georgetown, played for NC State. He played in Turkey too, especially the country that my parents are from. And now Omar Yurtseven is playing so well when they gave them that experience. So if Bam Adebayo is ever injured, they could rely on Omar Yurtseven for that backup. And he played really well. He made Miami a first-seeded team. So I think that I'm not gonna say how many games they're going to win, but I think that Miami is going to win the NBA championship. So that's my prediction, and I hope you guys like this video, and enjoy.